Start recording. All right, here we go. So, regular expressions. So all of you are familiar with, opening up. Let's just go to Wikipedia. And you can have Wikipedia select a random article that I'm going to keep over here just in case we get something weird. Okay, so this is apparently a TV show, Flight of the Conchords, and it says love is a weapon of choice. All of you guys are familiar with hitting Control F. If you're not, if you hit Control F and you type love, it will find every instance of love. But what if we wanted to find every instance of a 4-letter word that ends with an E? Can we We can't do that. There may be some setting in here, like I don't know what diacritics are, but yeah, I don't know what that means. So if we wanted to find every word that ended with an E, or every word that has a U as the second letter, or every phone number that could be a 123-4567, that's a phone number, but so is parentheses 630 parentheses 123 period 4567. That still is a phone number. So what we're going to learn, regexes allow us to type in if there are patterns of text, not text itself. So does that make sense to everyone? Okay. We'll be able to find any email. In a 10,000 page document, you can find every single email. Pretty cool, huh? What does this person say? Yeah, I don't feel like reading that. So if we were, I should have you guys do this. Yeah. So what we're going to do is I want you guys to write this. So open up a new file, and we're going to find, knowing what we know, we are going to write a regular expression. We will find the pattern to determine whether or not something is a phone number. And you're gonna see that knowing regular expressions will allow you to cut down on a lot of code. However, I want you guys to write that code so you understand how it's working. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to define is phone number. And we have to pass it this text because we're actually going to pass it a string, and it's going to tell us whether or not it's a phone number. So it's going to check and see if it has a 123 number hyphen 456 number hyphen 7878 number. Yes.
Could you do like text 0:2 is num, or dot is num, something like that, or
Yeah, you might.
just do like simpler, or like like
You may be able to crunch it down a little bit. Let's run through here, and then we'll see if we can condense the code a little bit, and then we can do regular expressions. So, is phone number. The first thing we're going to do is if the length of the text doesn't equal 12, doesn't equal 12. Because 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, yeah. So if you have a 10 number with 2 hyphens, that's 12 characters. So this is only for one type of phone number. So we would have to do this for a bunch of different types of phone number. We're going to return false.
Why is there like 2 colons?
Because I was wondering if anyone would see that. Paying attention. Good job, Stockton. You get one bragging right. One bragging point. Alright, so this is where Stockton had an idea of saying we can condense this. Let's write it what it is in the book and then we can see if we can condense it. So for I in range 0 to 3, if not text bracket I dot is actually, don't do is decimal, do is digit. So what is this line saying? Break it down to me. So it's as if I know nothing about coding. I'll assume I don't know anything about coding. Please. Yeah, Brendan.
So if index 1, so like if the second variable in the list of text, if it's not all numbers, then it's going to execute the
Very close. So text is not going to be a list, it's going to be a string.
Oh.
And we're not breaking
so
it.
It's the first character.
It's the first 3
Right,
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have index 0, 1, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's not a digit, we're going to return false. Now we need to check and see what is the index of the hyphen. So I'm going to just put this up here.
You find like the ASCII value or something?
So assume this is the number we're going to pass.
Oh, the incoming. So it's
So what is the index of that hyphen?
3.
So text index 3, if that doesn't equal a hyphen, what do we think? What are we gonna do?
False.
Yes. Now, we're not lazy. We're efficient. So we're going to copy this. Because we have the first chunk of numbers and then the first hyphen. So let's just change this for the second chunk of numbers and the second hyphen. What number should I put in here for the second chunk of numbers? Assuming this is what we're using.
4 to 7.
Yeah.
So 4 to 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You are correct. 4 to 7. What do we need to put here?
7.
Correctamundo. Now we just need to do, so we have the first chunk of numbers, the first hyphen, the second chunk of numbers, the second hyphen. Now we need the third chunk of numbers.
8 to 12.
I think, maybe.
And then you don't need a hyphen.
So Stockton says 8, 12. Does anyone disagree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, actually. no,
You
okay.
disagree with that, Adam.
That's
Why?
an odd.
Because, yeah, it's the 11.
Should be 11?
I think so.
0, 1, 2, 3,
Oh, no, wait, no, it'd be
4,
13.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is 12.
Wait, why is it 12 though?
Because
Isn't it-
it's just range.
Oh, so I did that right on accident.
Okay. Now, if we make it all the way through this, what should we return?
True.
Why do you say that?
Because it's asking whether or not it's a number, so it's a true or false function. Oh, also, yeah, it runs in order, so if it doesn't run into any problems, then it just means it's a phone number.
Correct. As soon as it hits one of these returns, the function's over. This is kind of like the break. This is, one of the ways you could view one of the properties of return is like a break in a while loop. Jumps out of the function. Just like break jumps you out of the loop. So now we're just gonna write, if we save this,
I had an error.
I'm betting I'm having an error or something. So is phone number. Oh, I should have saved that in another place. Hang on.
Oh, I never even did text in the
Do you need to put the text in?
No.
You say text equals.
is phone number is saved. So, sorry, I have to reopen that real quick. Alright, here we go.
Can you call a function in the shell?
Yep, I'm going to show you how to do that. So once you save this, once you run it, now I've never called this, I don't call this function at all in my code. However, if I type is phone number, oh, what am I forgetting?
We need to define text.
We need to define text, yep. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do text equals 123 hyphen 456 hyphen 7890 hyphen. Then we're going to print, because I think if you just run is phone number, I don't know if you get true or false, but you might. Let's see. Oh, you do get true.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
So I pass this phone number to my function. Now, if I want text to be, let's do steak and eggs. What should pop up now?
False.
Correct. False. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand how this text works? Alright, so let's jump back to what Stockton was saying. So if we unindent that, mark that out, and if we do to 3, move that over, comment that out, move that over, comment that out, and if not text, we have to skip over 3, then we start at 4 and we go to 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so to 7. 4 to 7, and then we can say 8 to the end. Let's see if this works. I have a feeling it will, so. So that was a good thought there, Stockton. So instead of having this loop that cycles through and checks if each individual character is a number, we basically say, this chunk of 3, is it a number? Yes. Okay. So if we get to it this semester, we'll actually be able to time how long it takes our code to process. And you can kind of use that to see how efficient your code is. Because if you can get the same output and it takes half the time, it's pretty cool. So good eye on you, Stockton. That was good. All right. So let's see. If we do messages for I in range, oh wow, okay. So now what we're gonna do is we are going to add a little chunk of code to this. This will only, so currently this only works if we pass it one string. And if that one string is not our exact phone number, it doesn't work. What we're now gonna do is we're gonna add text to figure out, to have it cycle through a string. So if there is a phone number in a string, it will find it. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do here is we're going to change message is call me at 415-555-1011 tomorrow. And I'm going to do this in multi-line text just because I don't have room on my screen. Call me tomorrow. 415-555-9999 is my office. Call my cell There we go. So now what we're going to do is our code is going to cycle through this message and determine, is there a 12 chunk? Is there a chunk of 12 text of is there a chunk of 12 characters that match our pattern? That would be a phone number. Now, I know this is kind of tedious, but this is so that you guys understand how regex works. We're going to be able to condense all of this code into 2 lines. And it's, as we get further along, we'll import modules that do a lot of stuff. So yeah, we won't have to do this sort of stuff, but you'll need to know what it does and how it works in order for you to know, how to code. So, now that we have our message, we're going to do for I in range length of message. So what this is going to do is what?
It's gonna cycle through the number. Wait, for length of message, is that the number of like words or the number of letters?
Adam?
Characters. Alright, so it would be cycling through. Let's say there's like 30 characters in it. It would run it 30 times, and I would be 0, 1, 2, like etc.
Correct. This cycles through each character of our string. What we're now going to do is we're going to say chunk, because we need to divide this up into chunks of, what did I say we were looking at chunks of? Hang on, what'd you say, Adam? No. How long is our phone number?
12.
12, so we're looking at chunks of 12. So we're going to go, our chunk is the message, and we're splicing this up into I plus 12.
Oh. So every time you run it, so it's checking for
Keep
every
little increments. But
So what it's going to do is it's going to say that the first chunk is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's going to look at this chunk. Is there a phone number in this chunk?
No.
Then it's going to look at
A through straight.
that chunk. Then it's going to look through this chunk. Then it's going to look through this chunk. And it's going to continue to do that until it looks through this chunk and go, hey, that matches our pattern. We're good. That's a phone number.
are we gonna get like an error at the end when it hits within 12 of the end of the string?
I hope not.
Well, it's not looking for the index of I plus 12. They're just saying.
I hope we don't get an error, but according to the book, we won't. Alright, so then,
Yeah, you're right. It's not an index.
Well, it is though. It's the index of message.
the length of message.
It just works out.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Yeah. So if is phone, oops. So now what this is gonna, if phone number chunk. Now one of the things I don't go over, so once you have that line, pay attention up here.
Oh, you spelled chunk differently.
Thank you. Wait, how do you spell chunk?
Just
Oh, no C, thank you. So by default, if you have if blank, specifically a function, and you don't give it a value, it defaults to true. So what this is saying is if is phone number equal true. I don't necessarily like leaving it like this because it confuses me, because I'm very simple-minded. So I always do equal true, but you don't have to. This is extra code that isn't necessary because the code will work the exact same way. For me, having that equal true helps me know this is if it's true, this is if it's false, as opposed to if function and then if not function. So, but that's up to you. Yeah. So we're gonna then do print, following the book, print phone number found. Phone number found, and then we're gonna put, I always do that. Now, I'm missing something in this line.
It needs to be a formatted string.
Yes. Do you all remember that? Brendan, do you remember that?
I think so.
Wait, can you?
Doesn't it?
Hang on, Stockton.
I can't remember what
What format does, by putting an F before the string, it allows you to put a variable name inside of these curly brackets, and it will display that variable, as opposed to doing comma, variable name, and all that. It just displays it as one string. So once we have that, then once we're done, we'll print Dunzo. Is that how you spell Dunzo? There we go. Alright, so let's run this. Your output should be this. Phone number found, Dunzo. That's a lot of code to find one pattern of a phone number. Now, if we went into message, is that still a phone number? To you, like to us humans, right? That's still a phone number. But if we run it, it only found one. So in order to edit that, we'd have to go in here and go, if it's not this, or, I'd have to add the space here. Well, what if there's a period?
Add a bunch of stuff.
Well, that's getting really tedious. And then what if there's an area code? Like, we have an area code, but what if you put parentheses around the area code?
And I've seen really weird phone numbers too.
What if it doesn't have an area code? Is that still a phone number?
What if it's a weird phone from like the FBI or something?
What if it's a weird number from the FBI? What if it has an extension? Oh my gosh. Well, now we got to deal with extension 123, or we have to deal with ext45. Oh my gosh. This is going to be really confusing. This is going to be a really long function with a lot of ifs. If we don't use regexes or regexes, however you guys want. So, well, does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Okay, so, I just want to make sure I don't skip anything. Okay, I've already done over, what if it has all of this? Yay. It's a pattern of text. So, what we're going to do, instead of using isDigit, which is still useful, right? Make sure you use that if you're asking a user, please type in a number. Please use that for a bunch of stuff. But for regexes, instead of doing isDigit, we're going to do \d. So \d stands for any digit. Okay? That should make sense, right? So we're going to comment that out for now. And I'm going to save this. Actually, you guys can do all this in one file. I'm going to split it up so that you guys can see the difference and all that stuff. So this is student resources, so this is phone number regex or regex. Okay. So, should I do this in the shell? Question, do you guys prefer I do it in the shell and you guys write the notes, or I do it all in the console? Console? Okay. So what we're going to have to do is regular expressions are not something that are built into your default opening up of Python. Just like randomism, we have to import something, but unlike Paperclip we have to download and install. We've already downloaded and installed reg expressions when we installed Python. So all we need to do is import RE. That stands for regular expressions. Now, what we need to do is we need to create the regular expression and name it what it is. So we're going to name this phone regex. I would recommend putting regex at the end of your regexes or something for you to differentiate and know, hey, this isn't a phone number, this is a regex. So just throwing that out there. Equals, now we have to run a little function in order for everything for Python to know what's going on. So re dot compile. Now this is where we put the pattern of text we want Python to find. Okay? This is where we're going to put our /d's and all that stuff. Now, the order in which we put our stuff in here makes sense, or is important, because it's looking for a specific pattern of text. So we're going to make this a raw string. Every string in a regex has to have that R. Okay, so don't forget that, because otherwise I think you'll get other stuff and it won't work. So if we're doing a phone number, that has a chunk of 3 numbers in front, what do we type first? And we want any digit. And what's our shortcut for a digit? \d. That will find any one digit. This will find any 3 digits in a row next to each other. So like 1, 2, 3, 9, 9, 9, 404, 512, 443, all those numbers. What?
Okay.
Okay. Now with our phone number, what else did we have?
A character.
A hyphen, yeah. So we're going to type in a hyphen.
It's like a period.
We'll get to that. This is just how you do the basic one. So then what do we need?
Dash.
More D's, more \d, another hyphen, 4 \d's. You can also, I'm just going to copy this. Instead of having all of that, you can put curly bracket 3 to make it slightly shorter. These equal, this is the exact same thing. So this is 3 digits, three digits followed by a hyphen, 3 digits followed by a hyphen, followed by 4 digits. You can use either one of these, they're the exact same. One is just slightly shorter. We will need to use these curly brackets later, but for now, I don't care which one of these you use. Actually, it doesn't matter if I comment one out or not. Alright, so now what this is done, this has created our regex. We now have our pattern of text stored, ready to search. Now the command for this is, you can't just run the command. You have to set that command, the value that it figures out, to a variable. MO stands for matched object. So you could put found phone number, whatever. Typically, it's MO means matched object. Meaning, was our pattern found in our text? Yes or no? Matched object. So we're going to do MO equals, this is where it gets a little confusing, so this is our regex dot search, because we're searching for this regex. Then we have our text. This is whatever we're searching for. So for this example, we're going to go, my number is 415-555-4242. This can be whatever you want. This is it could have a phone number, it might not. because we're gonna go over what happens if we search something and don't find it. So
Is this a true or false? Do regexes return true or false?
let's find out. Let's see what happens. So we're gonna print. Oops. Darn it. We're gonna print mo. Oh wait, no. Phone. So again, I'm going to format. The variable we're printing is mo.group.
Is mo like a function, or is it just our variable name?
Hang on, what is this? The result? Okay. What?
Is mo like, is that our variable, or is that like a function that is part of?
So, because it is the result of searching for a regex, it's a specific type of variable. I can't remember what it is. And because we know it's going to find something, we can call mo.group. So we'll get through what that does. So let's just see if this works, because it's very possible I did something wrong. Okay, so it found our phone number. If we don't have group, this is what it will print. So it tells you, hey, we found something. It's from character 13 to 15 or to 25, and the exact match is this. So if you don't have mo.group, you'll get that extra information. Now if we get rid of a number, we get none. We get a none type. Now if we did group, I can't remember what happens if you have group on a none type. Yeah, está rota. So what we could do is try printing this, except, what was this error? Attribute error. Except attribute error, print and then let's see what happens. There we go. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand why I put this try and accept in there? Do I know whether or not the text is going to have a phone number? Correct, I don't. So what happens if I throw another number in there and it fixes it? So, hey, phone number found.
If you give Q, does it find both of them?
Very good question. Let's type that in there. Let me do another multi-line comment or multi-line string. It's only found in the first one. How do we work around this? The answer is, we don't. Python does. Okay, what questions do you all have right now?
Oh wait, so for our original code, the one that we, without using regexes, that wouldn't work if there was like a period at the end of the number?
I don't know, check. Check and report back to me, okay? Alright. What other questions? This is a good stopping point because we're going to take a break. I understand sitting and staring at code for so long can only... Nothing?
It still works.
It still works, Stockton?
Yeah.
Cool. Nothing? Alright, so I'm going to pause the video then. Continuing report. Oh, okay, good. It is recording. I thought I was looking at the wrong thing on the computer. Alright, so again, you all understand why we have this try and accept here, correct? Because if we don't, right, our code works as long as they found a phone number, but as soon as there isn't a phone number at all, forgot I had to change both of them, we get this error. So in order to fix that, we put a try and accept. It tries this line, and if it does get the attribute error, it displays this. Okay. Again, do you guys have any confusion or questions on why we have mo.group? No? Okay. So, search, when did they do find all? Seriously, where's find all? They didn't go over it, find all? Man, I swear this book gets rid of like the useful stuff. I don't know. Alright, so we're gonna skip that. So I'm gonna copy this, and we're gonna paste this down here, and then we're gonna copy that, paste this down here. Alright, so we've gone over search. Search will find the first instance of a matched object. What we want is we want it to find all. And again, I can't find it in the book, so I'm gonna hopefully remember this correctly. Okay, no phone number was found. Okay, I screwed something up. Because I think what it does instead is, okay, so if you do have something in which you're expecting to find more than one, obviously you want to use find all. Search gives you more information. It tells you exactly where and what it is. With find all, what it does is it puts what it finds in a list. So then you would need to cycle through and say, for item in this, display phone numbers. So what we would do is phone numbers, phone numbers found, what we would do is get rid of that, print, oh wait, no. Now this isn't the only way to do it. For number in MO, print number. I know there's a way you can do like a for in one line, you can combine all that and put that in a print function. I just can't remember how to do it. So I'm not gonna do it. So I think that'll work. Yeah, there you go. And then if we get to a point where a phone number isn't found, we'll still get the, well, we don't get an error that way. Phone number's found, it just, we don't get anything. Except if we do get, at some point, have an error, probably an attribute error, we'll get no phone number found. So again, search is for I'm searching for one thing. Search and rescue, we're looking for one person. Well, we're going to say one person, that's how you remember it. Find all finds what?
All.
Everything, there you go. Super, super easy. The difference is search gives you more detailed information on that one item, whereas find all finds it, throws it in a list. Finds it, throws it in a list. Honestly, in this class, you'll probably be using find all more often than search, just because some of the assignments are find every phone number, find every email address in this 10,000 page document, and you just display them. So this right here, this code is a good basis for you to, if we're doing regexes, you know, save this and load this in anytime we're doing regexes, because it's kind of the basis, and I'm fine with you doing that. I think even for tests, because again, you can always save your code and import it later, and that's actually a really good skill to write your own code, so that you don't have to keep always, you know, not reinventing the wheel, but recreating the wheel, like.
Redesigning.
No, because you don't need to design the wheel. You retyping the code, so you don't have to keep retyping the code.
Redesigning the wheel.
So we can use this for homework and maybe even tests, just copy paste.
Yeah, this because this is like a basis. Because having to import and you will so. Maybe not this specific thing, but there is an assignment in which I give you all the different symbols and all the different shortcuts, and you can 100% use that on any quiz or test. So like, what does the caret do? Which is shift 6 if you didn't know what the caret was on your computer. What does that do? Darn it, I can't remember. Well, I don't expect you all to remember, like, coding, yes, part of it is about memorization, but also is, can you solve the problem? Can you Google the thing you need? Can you, yeah, I'm on subreddit Programmer Humor, just because I think it's funny. I only get about half the jokes. And one of them was, you spent 4 years in undergraduate in computer science to know what part of the code to copy from Stack Overflow. So, like, and my wife, who is a software developer, she looks and goes, yep. So, what we're going to do now is groups. So what we're going to do, groups typically, I believe, is only used with search. But what this allows you to do is you can group your regex into separate parts. So you can have the area code or the phone number. So, and that's super easy. So I'm going to comment all of this out.
Python should be a language credit.
I've heard that.
No, it should be, because I don't want to take Spanish, and it's basically like the same kind of.
Yeah, except everything in here is English.
No, but like learning how, like especially grammar of Python.
I don't know. Take it up with, take it up with the English department head, foreign language department head. I think it's the same person.
I doubt it actually go through, but like.
I've had students say that before, and I'm like, if you want to go try it. Okay, so groups. You guys understand? You can group things together. So if you want to have just the area code, just the phone number. So what we're going to do is all we need to do.
Wait, I'm realizing that would never work because you need 4 years of the same language.
What?
Or you need 4 semesters of the same language. So even if it was a language credit, it wouldn't do much.
Oh, yeah.
On 4.
Yeah. You want to take 4 classes a semester? Something?
I can't, not with my contract.
Yeah, not good.
So all we're doing is each set of parentheses designates a group. Make sense? So now I'm going to copy that, bring this down here. And then all we need to do is print. So I'm going to print mo.group, if I can spell group correctly, 1, mo.group 2, mo.group 0. Hopefully I did that right. Yeah, it's just easier to do them in 3 independent lines because it looks neater. So this prints the first group. this prints the whole match string. Alright, once you have that down, let me know. You guys don't necessarily need to add these notes. This is just, again, if you guys and lady miss a class or don't understand something or want to walk, like, these are notes that I'm giving to you that I save in the student resources folder.
So when we have 0, it automatically just prints the whole thing?
Yep. Because, yes. And again, notice it's only printing the first, oops, you can't see it. It is only printing this first phone number. It does not print the second phone number because we're using search and not find all. If we did type find all, what happens?
You get both. But you can't group them.
Can't group them.
Why do you think that mode is a list?
What?
Oh, wait, never mind. I'm using the wrong one.
Since it's search, it wouldn't be a list.
You know, I could find all in actually.
Oh wait, does search give a list, or does it just give a value?
It returns an entire like thing, string, value, method, answer. So one last thing I missed over here. If you want to retrieve all groups at once, do m.groups, mo.groups, and I'll show you what the difference. It actually stores it in a tuple. Now, if we have two values separated by a comma, what can we do? Do you guys remember the multiple assignment trick?
Oh yeah, it's like for K comma V kind of thing.
For, yeah, K comma V sort of thing. That's for cycling through dictionaries. Anyone else remember?
Like, you do the variable like x comma y equals, and then like 1 comma 2.
Exactly. So we can do something like Maddie was saying, x comma y equals 1 comma 2. Well, if mo.groups is this, gives us this value, comma, value, what we can do is we can do area code, comma, phone number equals mo.groups. And then we should probably print area code, print phone number. I mean, it's the same thing as doing mo.1, mo.2, mo.group 1, mo.group 2. But okay. Is everyone tracking with me? Questions? Comments? Concerns? Cookies? No cookies.
Not today.
Not today. Alright. So we're going to keep chugging along here. Now this is where it gets a little confusing because almost every symbol on your keyboard has a meaning in regexes. As you can see, parentheses already have an issue. Already have a meaning. So what if we're looking for parentheses in our regex? Oh gosh, what are we going to do?
Backslash.
Backslash. Wait, did you know that or did you guess?
I mean, it makes sense.
Makes sense? Yeah.
Escape characters.
Yes, escape characters. So, sorry. So what we want to look for is we want to see whether we want to add area code. We want to add a parentheses around here. We want our code to find it with the parentheses. So what we're going to do is, again, I'm going to copy this. All right. So we want the area code to maintain being a group. So where are we going to, according to Stockton, we got to put backslashes and our parentheses. So what two places are we going to put those? And keep them within the group.
Before it and after?
So where am I going to do the backslash D? Or the backslash parentheses?
Right when you want.
Right here?
Yeah.
Like that?
Oh, yeah, just
Yeah.
go before it.
And then where do I do the next one?
What, after the backslash?
Right there?
No.
Right there?
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Backslash this one? Oops.
No.
You want
Other
both
one.
those first.
Oh, okay. My bad. Alright, so let's see if it actually, see if it finds this one, because that 5554242 is getting all the attention. Hey, look at that. Oh wait, hang on. That's a,
Didn't work.
nope, that's all this right here. Okay, but now we need to print something, so we need to print. Actually, let's just copy this. Copy, Control 3, Control V. Alright, so now let's see if this works. Hey, look at that. We have our parentheses around our area code. That's pretty cool. So, for the following symbols, if you want them to actually show up in your regex, you need a backslash before a period, caret, $, star, plus, question mark, open close curly brackets, open close brackets, the backslash, the pipe, and the parentheses, open close parentheses. So if you want any of those to show up in your regex, you have to have it preceded by backslash. What does this say? Make sure you double check you have a mistake in escape parentheses. Missing them. Okay, so here we go. Let's do one of these real quick. Let's say I forgot to have a parenthesis in there. Okay? If I run it, we're going to get an error that says, whoa, that's a lot of code. All I'm looking at is this last line, and it's saying I'm missing a parenthesis. So, it doesn't tell me exactly where, line 39. So, this is my issue. So I need to go in and put another parenthesis, and if I do, it tells me which type of parenthesis. Oh, no, it's unbalanced. What if I get rid of that? No, that's going to be the same thing.
Yeah, it's not what you just did.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if you get a different error depending on which parenthesis is missing.
Oh.
So this one is, you're just missing the ending, whereas if you forget the open one, the first one, you get unbalanced parentheses. At position 10, so that must be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4,
So if you
5,
get the
6,
printed
7,
one?
8, 9, 10.
If you
Oh.
miss the printed one, it's the error, and if you miss the function one, it's the unbalanced.
Yeah, if you miss the first one, it's unbalanced, but it also tells you where the closed parenthesis is. That's what this position 10 is. Wait, did I fix it or no? Okay, I did. Questions? Let's see, what's the next thing? Okay, so this is probably going to be the last thing we cover. Just because I want you guys to work on some stuff. So, matching multiple group, you can use anywhere. Okay. So, what this is going to do, it's the pipe. Do you guys know where the pipe is on your computer, on your keyboard?
Shift backslash.
It is shift backslash. Nice job. So on your keyboard, it may look like, okay, so on my keyboard, it looks like a colon, but instead of two circles, it's two long rectangles. On your guys' surface, it should just be a straight up and down pipe, or up and down line. And that's what it looks like. So what we're going to do is, let's see, because you guys have often said, hey, what if it's a space instead of a hyphen? We're going to learn how to do that, and that's, the pipe allows you to pick either or in your regex. So I'm just going to copy this.
Oh, can you use that in, like, logic, like Boolean expression?
No. So this is phone number with pipe allowing multiple separators. I can't spell separate. Is a separator. Yeah. Okay. So in the book they talk about differentiating between two words. It's cool, but we're gonna do this. So if we want a hyphen or what? Okay, so we're going to go to our hyphen, and we're going to do the pipe right in this string. We don't need parentheses around it unless we want it to be its own group. I don't want my hyphen separators to be their own group. So pipe, space, what else could there be?
Period.
And a period. So we'll stop there. We'll do the same thing real quick to the other separator. And hopefully I did this right because I'm not following the book. Oh, they do have a find all method. Okay, good. So let's get rid of those, and let's put periods here. Real quick, pop quiz. Will it find this number at all?
Which one?
The one that's highlighted.
Yes.
No.
Why do you say no, Adam?
Parentheses.
Parentheses, yes, it's missing parentheses, so it's only going to find this one. And parentheses around area code. So let's run it. Okay, what did I not do? Correct. I don't know why I printed Y, to be 100% honest. So I'm going to get rid of my parentheses around that. So now we just have group 1. Alright, so it's also printing all of this, which I don't want. Alright, what did I do wrong? How did it find?
Somehow Y matches.
So weird.
Maybe we do have to put this in its own group. I didn't think you did, but maybe. I know later we do. Oh, there you go.
Wait, why does it make the spaces its own, like?
Yeah, so, oopsie, my bad. You gotta have the parentheses around and make them into their own groups. Does that make sense? So, if, oopsies. Excuse me. So it finds this first one. Let's get rid of that 5. Let's see if it finds this one. Because if it does, then we did it correctly.
You don't have parentheses in the compile.
Good eye there. Just wondering if you guys were going to catch that. So now we're finding, now it finds the phone number and we know
Wait, what? Wait, are you using dot search?
yes, I'm using dot search. Because dot search allows us to do a lot more than find all will find everything, but how it finds it finds it and then throws it into a list. So you can't like break it up that much. With search, you can break it up into these groups type thing.
Can you scroll down like a little bit? Oh.
I just keep copying and pasting the same thing.
What's that last line? What does that do?
That's this right here. So all of the groups are put together as one thing. So I could put area, comma, sep1, comma, number, sep2 equals mo.groups. And then now I have this string right here is area, and then I have sep1 being the period, then I have number being the phone number, and I have separator 2 being this period.
Okay, makes sense.
Notice I have a group inside of a group.
Mine's still returning none. Wait, what?
I can take a look at that in a minute. Okay, so I believe now everything else we're going to do is it there? How many times is it there? Blah, 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 blah. Sorry.
Oh, I know mine works.
What was I saying? Oh, now it's just how to make more and more complex regexes. I don't want to get into that because well, the question mark is pretty okay. We're gonna do the question mark. Thorn's like, are you kidding me? If I have to.
Can you just put as many pipes as you want for all the stuff?
Yeah, you could put, pipe D, pipe backslash plus sign. And now if this is a plus sign, it'll still find it. Yeah. So you can put as many things in there as you'd like. Okay. Last thing, question mark. Optional matching. Optional is basically, is it or is it not there? It doesn't matter, because if it's there, we'll take it, but if it's not, it's fine. So, phone numbers. What happens if you don't have an area code? Is it still technically a phone number? Would you still want to know?
Yeah.
All right. But if it has it, it's good, but if it doesn't, that's okay too, right? So all we're going to do, again, I'm going to copy this. Paste this. Comment that out. Alright, so what group did we say we're okay with it being may or may not be there?
Area code.
Area code. So I'm just going to put a question mark. That's all you need to do. Because the question mark will then go to the thing right before it. So if you have a group It's whether or not the group is there. If you have just, it has to be a group. I think if you put a space there, it won't work. You might actually get an error, so let's find out. God. Wait, how did that work? That shouldn't have worked because they had a plus sign.
Oh, wait,
I have an extra pipe there, I think. I think that's what did it. Okay. Let's put a space in front. Is it there or is it not there? Okay, so notice I have this question mark preceded by a space. I understand this is a lot of memorization and it's tedious, but we're going to work through this and you guys will have a sheet to help you get through it. So this space is saying if there is or is not a space between the area code and the separator. And again, notice I have a space in between this separator. So when I run it, it matches it. If I don't have that space there, it still works. If I get rid of this and I put the space back, we get nothing. So that question mark, whatever precedes it, the immediate thing preceding it. So if I put two spaces, question mark, it will look for two spaces. But if I have just one space, it'll be okay because that space is there, but the space before it is not. Typically, if you're using a question mark, throw the thing in a group prior to it. I'm just showing you don't have to, but you should. Oops.
Think about throwing to the group. Isn't like the competition.
Make it a group. So if you want whether or not a space is there, put a space in the parentheses.
Oh, okay.
So now what we're doing is we are seeing whether or not there is an area code. So we're gonna run this first, and it shouldn't look any different. Perfect. Oh wait. Oh, look at that. I wasn't even paying attention to that. So here's our area code for our first number. If I get rid of a number, it still finds the 555-4242. If I totally get rid of that, I still get 555-4242. So this question mark is really handy for, hey, I don't know if they're going to give me an area code. I don't know if they're going to give me an extension. I don't know if it's going to be Batman or what did they use? Or Batwoman. So I need to find Batman and Batwoman. Could I type Batman, type Batwoman? Yes. I could also do Bat, parentheses, whoa, then man. It'll find both. Make sense? Alright. That's it, because other than that, now we're just going to go star matching and plus matching and blah, 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 blah.
It's getting so complicated.
It is getting so complicated, which is why towards the end we can actually put comments inside of the regex to help differentiate what it is. You can actually have comments in here, so you could do optional area code, and I think you have to do 3 line, but you'll be able to type comments inside of the regex and it ignores the comments, so it helps you understand all that sort of stuff. But we're going to get to that later. Oh darn. I believe that one was everything. Okay. Alright, so that's it for the day. I'm going to stop recording.